Hey, it's Matt from Unbearable73. So I decided to do a short Living with Linux vlog on some updates on some things I found, which someone who's used to working in Windows and looking for little conveniences would note. So first, let me say I decided to switch back to the ebook manager Calibre for all of my ebooks. I prefer printed books, but Calibre I've not used it on off, and I've used it before for all my ebooks. And eventually, though, turned them almost all into PDFs and would just load them in PDFs and whatever. But since I still have some lits and I want something to organize this gigantic library of ebooks I have, I'm choosing Calibre. So if I go into my authors here, I'll show you how convenient this is. So right now I have this big list of my books to sort out in my library drive. I want to eventually move them to Calibre Management in the Calibre folder. I'm reorganizing my data so I can have that big chunk of data saved and replicated and whatnot. So if I books by author, now I already copied the A. Tancio's books over there. So I want to add a book. I'm going to choose that. And I want to edit the metadata for that. Okay. Obviously, that's nothing like this book is called Solus. All right. And the author is a Tancio. Title sort should be Solus. Author sort should be a Tancio. And I want to look for this book of his called Solus in his list of stuff to see if it's part of any series. And it's not. Okay. Oh, here it's a standalone novel of his. Okay. So, and we have a published. Now this is in 1994. You gotta pick. I'm gonna go back to. Why don't they have the annoying? This is annoying. They need the year arrow to make this go faster. Usually there's a double arrow for years and a lot of these good pop-ups. I'm just gonna put. I don't know what month it was published, so I'm just gonna go with. I'm gonna go with like December 1st for now. So point thing is, I got it in 1994. I have it listed in 1994, right? And I'm just gonna save that, and that's that. So now if I go to A. Tancio, his 3 books are there. All right. Now, and I can get rid of that. Okay. And I should have got rid of that. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding books into my Calibre from my library. So let's say I want to add Aaron Allison's books. He has 3 of them. So now because this library drive is a Synology map drive and it's not mapped on boot, I can't find it very readily. If I hit add books and I look for the location, I'm sure it's mounted somewhere in there. I just don't remember where it mounts to. Home, Malgram, desktop. It's not on the desktop. Eventually, I'll map it. I will map it at the boot to a particular location. It's not in mount for some reason. This is a Windows share I mounted somewhere. Yeah. It's not the important thing. Okay, so to work for now, the workaround is I copy it. Now in Windows, I would just do this: right click over and drag copy paste. That doesn't exist in Linux functionality as far as I can find out. So I have to do the 3-way do of cut copy paste, which is okay. Now, if I were copying between drives, there's a lot, okay. Like I could also do this, shift drag. If that were on the same drive, which it's not, it would actually move the files with a shift left click drag instead of just copying them, okay? But since it's not on the same drive, it don't do that. Okay? So now I want to add in the Calibre, pretty simple. I'm going to add Oh, I'll see. Well, odds are these don't have the right metadata, so I'm going to this. This could be very tedious. So I'm just going to do. So I'm only going to do one. This guy, he died. Wow. Okay. So there's two doc.she books. Open. Edit metadata. Control X. Control V. Series is the doc.she book. SIDHE is pronounced she. Title and author sort is Alliston Aaron. Now, why I'm putting it this way is just to see. I want to see what Calibre does to my other books. Let's go to R. Scott Bacher and look at his metadata. So it is doing last name first. Okay, good to know. So I will go back and edit something else. So right now, Aaron Allison has one book in there, and I'll repeat. I'm not going to go crazy, but the point is about Linux, not about Calibre. Calibre is a good application; it works just as well as Linux. What else have I picked up since then? So I did the right click thing. I've noticed that a lot of programs that do certain things like video rendering and whatnot run a little smoother on the Linux side. I think that's because Windows. I honestly think that's because of too much Chrome and whatnot. What else? For the most part, I've made good on the applications. As I said, happy with Zim. I think that's all I'm going to report on this one. Just a real quick little thing. Nothing real crazy about. And oh, this one. Okay, so my application that I use as a text editor on Windows machines is Notepad++. That's an open source thing, but the author apparently does not like Linux, so he hasn't compiled it for it. Someone has either compiled it for Linux or made their own version of it, which is identical. It's called Notepad QQ, available in the software manager for Linux Mint. That's the other thing I wanted to get out there. Perfectly good, and I like it because you can when there's particular languages, it's smart enough to highlight. Like if I load up say XML, I can go down to XML, choose a coding, and it'll pick everything and highlight the keywords appropriately. If I load up a C program, it'll do the same thing. It makes a lot of stuff easier to read automatically as opposed to you have to go in and format things yourself. That's why I like Notepad++ over other options for text editor replacements. Okay. Anyway, that's all I wanted to report. Everything else is so far so good. What I'm still looking for, someone told me that in the other window managers like XAFE and KDE and all that, I think KDE has the right-click functionality of Windows. I will probably play with that at some point. Another thing I'm working on is I want to set up the OBS virtual camera in Linux. It's in the OBS program. It's not fully implemented yet. There's some third-party add-ons you have to do to get it working under it. So I want to get that working. So looking around for instructions for that, and that's more or less it. So this is Matt from Unbearable 73. Have a nice day, and I am out of here.